This is Money, Motivation, and Mike, and I'm your host, Michael Wainwright. In charge of the show is Jason Wright. And hello to you, world. This is the show that can and will change your life. Jason, we are continuing on here talking about some college football, which has become a major big topic now in December. Now, the reason I say that is December has always been the month for the final push of the NFL season, because all your college games basically ending at the end of November, maybe some conference games, just like what we had during this last weekend, that trickles into December. And frankly, the only other game that is played after this first week end is the Army-Navy game, which is a big, huge game. Love to go to that game. Never been there, but I'd love to go to that game. But it's always been the December is the month of the NFL. That's why, starting in December, NFL always played 2 games on Saturday, and then your schedule on Sunday, and then your Monday night game. And now, of course, they also have the Thursday night game too. But that is the reason they continue to play 2 games on Saturday starting basically in December. But now with the playoffs and 43 bowl games, Jason, 43 bowl games. That's 86 teams. The NCAA is only made up of like 130 college football programs. 86 teams will play in a bowl game. There you go.
Sounds like everybody gets to participate.
Oh, well, here's the deal. The alumni want to go to a bowl game. Alumni write checks. This sport is about money.
Oh, yeah.
More so than ever before. So I'm going to do a 2-part series here on the bowls. And today I'm frankly going to talk about the bowl game, the games that are played. And then I'm going to put a little bit of emphasis on the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl. So nevertheless, in North America, a bowl game other than the Super Bowl, and I don't even want to talk about the Pro Bowl anymore, which is the NFL All-Star game. It's simply a bowl. Hey, are you going to a bowl? Yeah, we're going to the Rose Bowl. We're going to the Cotton Bowl. Mm-hmm. That's what they say. So are you going to the bowl? On a particular college campus, the people that you're talking to will know exactly what you're talking about. And this is interesting. I did not know this. And here's how big of the bowl games have became. Prior to 2002, bowl game statistics were not even included in the players' career totals. Now they are. Now, doesn't that skew the records today versus the records then? See, when you look at Babe Ruth hitting 714 home runs, a home run's still a home run. And he actually did it on on less games per year. But now, back in the day, you're playing 10 games a year. And if you're lucky enough, you get to play a bowl game. So you win your conference because you had the most games, most wins, then you get to go to a bowl game. And in essence, that is your championship game of which a team is picked to come and play you. And historically, bowl season has been made up of 4 major bowls. And this is what I call the top layer bowls, which is the Rose Bowl, the Orange Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, and the Cotton Bowl. And all 4 of those games are always played on New Year's Day. Now, by the time I started watching college football in the 70s, I believe it was up to about 10 particular bowls. But back in the original days, it was only those 4 bowls plus the Sun Bowl. You ever heard of the Sun Bowl, Jason?
I have not.
It is in guess where it's played? El Paso, Texas.
Okay. I was going to say like Phoenix, but okay.
Hey, down there on that same line of heat.
Yeah.
But the Sun Bowl is in line with a couple of other bowls, being the second oldest bowl to ever be played behind the Rose Bowl. And we'll get into when all those came into play too. But then historically, that's where it's been. And the Bows originally, this is interesting. They originally featured the very best teams in college football with strict bowl requirements for teams to receive an invitation to participate in these bowls. Now, the reason I point that out is because right now, if you can field a football team, you basically can get into a bowl game. So not only that, Jason, you can put your own bowl together, as I said in the previous episode. Right now, you can go out and find you 11 players and probably put a team together. And once again, if you can pay the NCAA enough money, they'll probably let you play. That is where we are. All right? Go out here and, hey, you go ask Coca-Cola or FedEx or some big insurance company or whatever to call the NCAA and say, if you don't let Jason Wright have his own football game, we're pulling our sponsorships. And you know what they'd say? Tell me when and where. We're going to have it over. We're going to have it in a cow pasture over in Bryan County, Oklahoma. And we're going to pull vehicles up to the sidelines and we're going to sit in the back of the pickup trucks. And they'll say, that's $100 million. Check, done, good. No big deal, Jason. Incredible. Do you want that on ESPN or do you want that on NBC, CBS? I got an idea. Let's just make them all show up for your game. Because that's where we are. You can tell I'm still on a little bit of a rant from that final statistics or the final standings and the rankings of these 25 college football teams. What a joke. I don't even know why I'm bringing this trash to our Money, Motivation, and Mike show. You know why? Because people like to listen to trash and they like controversy. If it was a cut and dry deal, nobody would care and we wouldn't be talking about it either. So as always, we do not discriminate against any issue. We will bring it on this show. More stuff to come. And like I told you, the number grew to 10 bows starting in 1971 to, as of 2023, 43 bows. And like I told you back here a while ago, strict bowl eligibility requirements. I mean, I don't even remember back when I started watching, if you didn't have 10 wins, I mean, you show up at a bowl game and be 10-2 and you go, how did they get in? They got 2 losses. Now it ain't no big deal. And as a matter of fact, on the NCAA's website, it now says NCAA allows teams with 6-6 records, and this has been since 2001, and sometimes, Jason, even losing records, 5-6, 5-7 seasons, they can participate to fill the slots. Because like I say, we don't care what dog-butted team you show up with. You just need 2 teams to play, and that's going to make us some money. In 2023, Jason, more than a quarter of the football teams that participated in the 2023 football bowl season did not have a winning record. 25% did not have a winning record.
Incredible.
2 years ago.
How?
Because they allow it. That's how. Now, back on the term bowl. Where did that come from? It originated at the Rose Bowl Stadium. Obviously, the site of many, many Rose Bowl games over the last century plus. And as a matter of fact, now you realize, and I think I've told you this before in the viewing and listening audience, the Rose Bowl parade is much older than the Rose Bowl game. The parade, the parade is made up of floats that are made up of roses, which is why it's called the Rose Parade. Now, back in the early 1900s, it was called the Tournament of Roses Association Parade, because they're having a tournament, they're having a contest, and you know, they spend tons of money on those floats, but they have to be made up of roses.
Yeah,
and there's a big, huge prize to the winner of that particular parade, and I'm very, very blessed and fortunate to say I've actually got to go to that parade. And the time I was there were 77 floats. Took 2 hours for that parade. And it was a quick 2 hours. It never left your attention. And when they start that parade out, and I'm getting off the subject here, but this is how the origination of bowl games started. And here comes that Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and they're marching down through there leading that parade. It'll raise the hair on your back. It is good stuff. So, 1902, a game was played, what they called the East-West football game, sponsored by Tournament of Roses Association.
Okay.
Played between Michigan and Stanford. Michigan won that game 49-0. That was, in essence, considered the first Rose Bowl game. But then they didn't play again till 1916. And from 1916 on, it's been called the Rose Bowl. Now, what else is pretty interesting is the Rose Bowl was not built and completed till 1923. Then we got the Rose Bowl Stadium, because obviously right up the hill is the Rose Bowl Parade. Thus, the contest, the game, is called the Rose Bowl game. And it was the only game for many, many years into the 1930s. So you have your Rose Bowl, frankly, the first one being played in 1902, even though it wasn't called the Rose Bowl game, up until the 1930s. Basically for 30 years, you had one game. And today you have 40 plus. What a disgrace. Incredible.
Ain't nobody really watching all those. The local teams. You're going to watch some of these big guys at the top, but I don't think anybody else is tuning in all those other.
Well, hey, like I told you, in this particular episode, it's going to be a 2-part episode, and I'm going to get into some of the names in our next episode of these games, and it is stupid.
Yeah,
I mean, it's literally cross the street on the white line bow. Stop at the red stop sign bow. It's goofy. It's incredible. Snoop Dogg has a game now.
The Snoop Dogg Bowl?
Snoop Dogg Bowl.
All right.
And I think Drake or somebody's in it too.
Oh, wow.
By the way, and I was ragging on Alabama in a previous episode. They should not have been in the college football playoff. And they proved that it's a joke by getting blown out and not moving down in their rankings, as I talked about. University of Alabama holds the current record of most appearances in college football playoff bowl history. And they're over 70. Alabama also holds the record for the most victories, which is close, right around. And the reason the reason I say I don't actually know the number is because are they counting like this week, this coming up week where the college football playoff starts? They're not actually playing in a bowl game, but it is part of the bowl season. So does that game count? And I actually don't know the answer to that just yet. But nevertheless, Alabama's won right around 45 bowl, playoff, whatever games you want to call it. Back in 1973, the Rose Bowl had 106,869 people attend that game, which is still the record. This is another thing that is aggravating to common fan. How come the attendance has not went up? How come 50 years later that record still stands? Because, Jason, they've taken out seats and put in suites for more dinero, for more money, so that has lowered the attendance. It's just like the dadgum Super Bowl. Unless you are a millionaire, virtually, or saved all your life, you can't go to that dadgum game. It's aggravating to me. So anyway, 73, and that record will probably never be broken. As a matter of fact, I would say, Jason, by the year 2050, that's 25 years from now, that'll put me at 81 years old. I think I'll be around then. I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah.
2050, Jason, there may only be 15 or 20 people at a game, because each one of them paid $1 billion to go to the game and they didn't want anybody else there. So there'll be plenty of social distancing and there'll be 10 or 15 people sitting in 10 or 15 suites, and the NCAA will have made them $1 gazillion, and that's all they care about. Because I can assure you, the fans make this deal up, but it's not about the fans anymore. Show me the money. In the 1990s, many bowl games began to abandon their traditional names. All right? Rose Bowl, Cotton Bowl, Fiesta Bowl, Sugar Orange, Gator, Sun. For example, the Rose Bowl game presented by Northwestern Mutual. All right. Prior to that, it was just the Gator Bowl. And then, of course, we had to get into all this other stuff. And I'm going to give you some of these things. The Rose Bowl, the granddaddy of them all. The standard of which bowls are set. Okay? Starting in 1999. All right, so not the 1902 game. And then 1916 to 1998. Pasadena Tournament of Roses Association was the sponsor. The parade. Starting in 1999, the AT&T Rose Bowl. That lasted for 3 years. Then Sony PlayStation. Of course, they wrote a bigger check. Can you imagine going to the Sony PlayStation Rose Bowl? In 2003, you could do that. And then we got Citibank, Northwestern Mutual, Capital One, and today, Jason, viewing and listening audience, you can attend the Prudential Financial Rose Bowl. All right. Now, I have our local bowl is the Cotton Bowl. Long history there. It would be in the third edition there of bowls to come into play. I believe in like 1935, 36, somewhere in there. I'll get to that. But nevertheless, Southwestern Bell, long sponsor of the Cotton Bowl back 20 years ago when there was a bell. And I had a client who was very tight with Southwestern Bell. I got to go to my share of Cotton Bowl games, free tickets, free parking, free food. Justin, I've been to a Cotton Bowl and sat in the press box right next to the other coaches. Some legendary names. Grant Teff, Jackie Sherrill, Larry Lacewell was there scouting for the Dallas Cowboys. Sat right up there in the middle of them. Because somebody that I knew was tied to a sponsor that wrote a big old check, and some little peon like Mike can get into the press box at a Cotton Bowl because of money.
Good to know people in high places.
Oh, baby. That's exactly right. That's how this game goes. But at the end of the day, it's good for everybody loves the game. They want to see games all the time. I guess it's good for everybody to be able to go out and do those things and watch dadgum bowl games every night. I mean, if you're going to have 40 plus games, you got to have one or two on every night, Jason, to get this thing done. And then also the alumni gets to take their 500 record and maybe even their losing alumni football team record and say they went to a bowl game. And the athletic director can call them up in January and say, hey, remember that bowl game that you got to attend last year or last month? Mm-hmm. For us to do that again this year, I need another big check. Needs to have a lot of zeros and a lot of commas. What can I put you down for? And that's how they roll. Don't have to be competitive, Jason. You got to be able to write a check. That's all it takes. So I obviously talked about bowls, talked about the Rose Bowl. And we're going to end this show here because I'm sure that I have really exhausted all my time today. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk about the other three big bowls, maybe an additional bowl. And then, Jason, I got to get your reaction to some of these bowl names that we now go with. Yeah, have you ever heard of the Casino del Sol Stadium Bowl?
No.
Played in Arizona. Yeah. Camping World Stadium Rose Bowl. Excuse me. I'm sorry. That's incorrect. Camping World Stadium Bowl. We'll get back to this stuff, and I got to find out where old Snoop Dogg. You're gonna get Snoop on the show. See if we can get some tickets out of him.
Yep.
Yeah. Please start working on that immediately. Okay. You can always contact us, info@mx3.vip. Find all of our content at mx3.vip or on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/MX3 podcast. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notified of all of our new content, which comes out every Monday morning and Thursday morning around 9 o'clock. So for everyone who's been a part of this show, continue to live your life the right way.